2 winters ago, my husband and I packed up our lives and moved to a secluded farm tucked deep into the Appalachian Mountains. We were in our late 20s, newly married, excited and idealistic about a fresh start away from the noise of city life. The town we settled in was small, the kind of place where people still wave at each other from porches, and every stranger at the general store feels like a potential friend. Our first winter was biting. The frost came early and settled deep into the soil, and the farmhouse's aging propane heater struggled to keep up. One morning, with temperatures dipping into the 20s and snow already layering the hills, we realized we were dangerously low on propane. With urgency in our step and a list of farm supplies in hand, we drove to the local Tractor Supply to refill our tank and stock up. We were standing in line at the register when we noticed him. A man in his late 50s, tall, with grizzled stubble and pale, wind-burned skin, entered the store and made direct eye contact with us the moment he stepped inside. He paused, walked over to a display rack, grabbed a women's flannel shirt without even glancing at the size, and came to stand directly behind us. I mean directly. I could feel his breath on the back of my neck. Trying to shake the unease, I turned slightly, offered a polite smile, and said, "Good morning." He didn't smile back. Instead, he started talking. At first, it was small-town small talk. "Getting cold out, huh? This line's slow today. Gotta pick up my great-aunt from the airport in 2 hours." I nodded along stiffly. My husband stayed silent, shifting his weight as the man inched even closer. Then the questions began. "Where y'all from? Just moved in? What road? How old are y'all anyway? You look barely out of high school." We exchanged glances, trying not to let him know just how uncomfortable we were. We answered vaguely, hoping the conversation would fizzle, but it didn't. As we reached the front of the line and began talking to the cashier about propane pricing, the man suddenly exploded. "This is outrageous. Charging them that much? They're just kids. Newlyweds. You ought to be ashamed." The poor cashier, probably 17 and just working his weekend shift, looked stunned. The man muttered curses under his breath, glaring at the register, then turned back to us. "I got a 100-pound propane tank at my place. Not using it. Y'all can have it. Free." We hesitated. "Thanks," my husband said carefully, "but we're all set." The man didn't back off. "I got 2 tanks, actually. You can take both. My house is only 20 minutes from here." My husband again politely declined. The man pressed harder. "We got to do it now, though. I got to pick up my great-aunt at the airport soon." It was only later that we realized the contradiction. He had just said he had to leave in 2 hours. Now it had to be immediate? I shook my head and said firmly, "No thank you. We're good." He frowned, dropped the shirt on a shelf, and stormed out of the store. As we made our way to the outside propane fill-up station, our sense of relief was short-lived. He reappeared, pulled his pickup truck into the space right beside the tank fill area, and got out, like nothing had happened. "Y'all should really think about a second tank. It'll last longer, save you a trip," he said, his tone disturbingly calm. Then, more insistent, "Only one of you needs to come. The other can meet us there." The suggestion hit me like a punch. He was trying to separate us. I raised my voice a bit, but still tried to sound composed. "No thank you. We're fine." He chuckled. "Come on, this is a small town. Safe as can be. I'd never heard a sweet young couple like y'all." That sentence chilled me more than the wind. Just then, the outdoor employee handling propane came around the corner, saw the man, and said with no hesitation, "Hey, get the F*** out of here. Leave them alone." The man didn't argue. He gave a little smirk, turned around, and got back in his truck, a truck, we now noticed, that didn't have any license plates. He drove off without looking back. For a moment, we stood in silence. I could hear my heartbeat pounding in my ears. The young man helping us shook his head. "That guy comes around every winter. Real weird dude. Always talks to young couples. Only young couples. You ain't the first he's tried this on." We got our tank filled, thanked the employee profusely, and drove home in silence. That night, we locked every door and window. My husband retrieved the shotgun we kept for emergencies and placed it beside the bed. In the following days, we told ourselves we were being paranoid. Maybe he was just lonely. Maybe he was trying to help. Maybe, in a small town with rough manners, it all meant nothing. But the truth settled deep into our bones. Something about him wasn't right. The contradictions, the pressure, the way he tried to split us up. The missing plates. The fact he only came in winter when the town was quiet and tourists were gone. And worst of all, the way he looked at us. Like we were his next meal. To this day, we never saw him again. No reports. No arrests. Just a shadow who passed through and left a cold imprint on our memory. Sometimes, when I go into town, I catch myself looking at every pickup truck, checking for plates, watching for pale faces behind windshields. We dodged something that day. I don't know what, but I think we dodged a serial killer.